Have you ever been yelling or talking so much that you actually damaged your voice? Or maybe even lost it? You see, the biggest problem is not that someone's actually damaged or hurt their voice. The biggest problem is that since most people don't know any better, they actually start using their voice in the one way that they absolutely should not. And that is whispering. It's actually the worst thing you can do when you're vocally tired or you've lost or hurt your voice. As a holistic voice coach, I deal with this sort of thing all the time. And in fact, more than 30 years ago, I lost my voice completely for months. I truly thought my career as a singer and an actor were over. However, when I started working with holistic principles, I healed my voice so fast that even my ENT was surprised. So whether you have nodules or just a sore throat or a croaky voice from speaking too much or too loudly, you are in the right place. If you want to know the 3 best ways to get your voice back fast, then stay tuned. Q&A Tuesday, all your voice questions answered. Hi, I'm Elisa James, holistic voice coach and founder of the Voice of Confidence public speaker training program. Today's video is all about getting your voice back fast after you've hurt it or strained it. So let's get to it. Step 1 is relative rest versus complete vocal rest. Now, this was a concept I knew nothing about until I lost my voice way back in my 20s. I had massive nodules on my vocal folds and I had to learn how to use my voice in a safer way when speaking and singing. However, I had to heal my voice properly first before I changed my habits, and my voice needed complete rest. During my vocal therapy sessions, I learned about relative rest and complete rest. To heal my voice faster, I had to allow the nodules to shrink all by themselves. So the very first thing that I had to instigate was a period of time with complete vocal rest. That means no sound at all for a length of time. I mean no sound, no talking, no clearing the throat, no coughing, no whispering. Yeah, it was really tough, especially for a singer and a speaker who lived off her voice. I actually lost all my income. I gave away all of my gigs. It was really tough, but you know what? In the end, it was worth it, because after 6 weeks of complete vocal rest, the nodules were gone and my voice came back. Now, some of my colleagues took an easier route and they decided to have surgery to remove their nodules. Yes, they healed relatively fast, but the scar tissue on their vocal folds still made them sound raspy and vocally fatigued. So to this day, I am so grateful that I chose not to have the operation. Look, with every operation, there's a risk, right? And just look at the surgeries that have gone wrong. The most famous case is the wonderful Julie Andrews. She had the most glorious, pure soprano voice and sang like an angel until she took a very taxing theatre role singing songs she was not really trained to sing, and then she developed nodules. Now, since she had such a demanding role on Broadway at the time, she chose surgical removal to get back on the stage faster. Unfortunately, it went horribly wrong and she lost that beautiful voice for good. It was such a tragedy, and I don't want that to happen to you. So let's now talk about relative rest. Once I healed my voice, I had to be super careful for the next few years to teach my voice how to make sound in a much healthier way. So I then started to implement relative rest. Now, this is a very simple math equation. You simply calculate how many hours you actively speak every day, then make sure that you take equal amounts of time in hours in complete vocal rest during the same day. No sound whatsoever, and no, sorry, sleeping doesn't count. I mean waking hours. Let's go on to step 2, rehabilitation exercises. Now, even while my nodules were healing, I was allowed to do some simple, gentle voice exercises for a few minutes each day to retrain the muscles. The reason is this: when you're using your voice the wrong way, like I was, you end up using one set of muscles predominantly and the other set of muscles gets weaker. You see, our voice actually needs many muscles to access all of the notes in our speaking or singing range. But if you as a speaker or a singer only use one area of your range, for most of us that's the lower register, you can actually overuse muscles in that range. To help your voice heal faster, you need to stretch the vocal folds gently to the upper range and try to get the edges of those folds to reconnect. The reason we sound raspy when we're vocally tired is because the vocal folds aren't connecting anymore due to the swelling and the damage. So now we're going to do some simple exercises to encourage those vocal folds to gently come together and re-establish that connection. The very first exercise is the NG siren. In this exercise, we open the throat into a wide, happy yawn. I call this the frog breath. You can check it out on my channel. Then we will gently come down the scale, starting from an A downwards and then moving up slowly to a C. Let's do it together. Open throat, here's your starting note. Now, if you're not a singer and you can't sing down the scale like that, all I want you to do is start on this note and just slide gently down the scale. Now, the trick is every single time you do this, do it as softly and as gently as you can, using the tummy muscle to move the air forward. Let's try a higher note. Really softly, really gently. One note higher. One note higher. Now we're not going to push it because you don't want to force the connection, so you're going to come back again. Especially if your voice is tired, you must look after your best asset, your voice, slowly and carefully. And backwards. Now the goal is to keep those vocal folds connected the entire way down the scale. The next way that you can do the siren is like this, with the bubble. Now, these are both called semi-occluded vocal tract exercises, which I'll put in the description underneath in case you need more guidance on this. But these exercises really help you understand how the airflow moves through the system and helps the vocal folds close properly. So now let's do it on a bubble. Again, as softly and as gently as you can. Now we're at a C and we're going to go just a little bit higher to see if we can stretch the voice gently. Remember, never force it. And if your voice is damaged or swollen, you don't want to go too high. Wait until you can get those notes effortless with a very low energy level and then start increasing the range. And when I had nodules and a lot of swelling, I couldn't go past this C. I literally had nothing for the next octave. It took me a long time to get all of that upper register back, but it did come back. Now, my body and my mind is working very hard during these exercises, but my voice, not much at all, because I'm opening my throat, using my belly to support my note, and then really gently and softly making that sound. Last one coming down. Make sure the sound stays connected all the way through. Last one. Do those exercises for 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at lunchtime, and 5 minutes in the evening. Along with your relative rest and your complete rest, this will help enormously. Step 3, the ABCs of health and lifestyle adjustments. The last piece of the equation is to start taking supplements that increase your immune system to help your vocal folds heal faster. So here are some things that really worked for me. Vitamin C, elderberry, and zinc. This combination of supplements actually helps your body heal much faster. Vitamin C, bioflavonoids, and elderberry are well known to help build up the immune system in the body. And zinc is also a very well-known healing element. Another important supplement for speakers and singers is slippery elm bark. This helps feed and heal the mucosal lining in the body. And the mucosal lining on the vocal folds can be swollen and strained. So taking this particular supplement in powder or capsule form daily will really help you feed the body from the inside and strengthen all the mucosal linings in the body. It's also great for digestion and heartburn too. Works a treat. Now, lastly, let's look at lifestyle habits and which ones are not serving you mentally, emotionally, and physically. I realized when I had nodules that there were also other things that I needed to change to improve my health and mental state while I was healing. The very first thing was mindset. I needed to learn how to calm my emotions and meditate to manage my stress levels. The next thing I did was to eat more clean and healthy, less packaged foods, less processed foods, and this supports healing as well. And lastly, I looked at how much I was talking and whether I could use less words in my daily activities. That would allow my voice and my mind to calm down so I could stay mindful of every task I was doing. So if you ever lose or damage your voice from singing or speaking or shouting too much, all of these things will help you heal faster. You must take 100% responsibility for your own healing. That is key. So please share this video with somebody if you think it might help. And remember to check out the other videos on my channel. There's lots of good stuff there. If you are a heavy voice user like me, a teacher, a fitness instructor, a coach, or a trainer of some sort, it's very possible that you could be damaging your voice if you're not using it correctly. I designed a comprehensive training program for exactly this reason. It's for people like you that use their voice every single day for your job, and we can't afford to lose it. It's called Save My Voice Foundational Training. And this training can really help save your career and your voice. It's a complete insurance policy for your voice. So if you honor and value your best asset for life and business, your voice, click on the link in the description below the video to see if this course is right for you. Your voice is truly your best asset in life. And life becomes really hard when you have no voice. It's frustrating and it hurts. So do yourself a favor and go and check it out.